Big news today. Lotus announced new colors for the Lotus Emira. These colors are not available to people with first edition Lotus Emiras, but for the additional allocation that was made to certain markets like North America, I'm not sure if any other allocations were made in any other markets around the world, but I know in North America they made a special allocation. They added 2/3 more cars in an additional first edition allocation for North America, which they have dubbed FEV2. And for those cars, there are these additional colors in addition to the original colors available on the Emira. So today I'm going to provide you a quick snapshot of what those are. You can of course go by yourself to the Lotus configurator and play around. I just thought some people like to consume their information via video with narration, and so I'm providing that service. First off, looking at the palette of colors available, it's a little bit odd, I think. First off, you have 7 colors available in grayscale, so basically ranging from white to black. And they have added several new colors to this scale. So they've added mist white, osmium silver, zinc gray, and cosmos black. So lots of colors added to the grayscale. In addition to that, there are now 3 blues. So instead of just 1 blue, Seneca blue, there are 2 more blues, and there's 1 more red. Other than that, everything is the same. So the original colors were Hethel yellow, magma red, Seneca blue, dark verdant, Nimbus gray, shadow gray, and that's it. So you can make of that what you will. I think Lotus might have missed an opportunity to introduce some of their famous Skittles colors or something that would be a little bit more flashy on this car. But that said, I would like to say I'm very happy with the new colors, because when the original colors came out, I was disappointed that they didn't have a black and a white and a silver, and also that they didn't have a true red, a nice vibrant red. So if you look at this palette here, the magma red always struck me as being a very dark looking red and also as having a bit of a pink hue to it. And I don't like that one bit. So the vivid red is a much more normal red, and hopefully it'll look shiny and sort of like a ruby red in person. It's a little bit still maybe on the dark side, but it does look kind of like a apple red. Now I will note that in the configurator you have many different ways you can look at things. I'm going to choose exterior because I just care about the exterior paint color. But in terms of environments, you can choose daylight, sunlight, or studio. And I think sunlight, because that is the most likely environment they're going to be using these cars in and where they're going to be seen most often. So I think that gives us the best picture of that. I'll also mention that in the configurator, they have a video element where, let's see if I can find that. Yeah, video element right here. And that's pretty snazzy, but what I found is that all of the new colors are not available in this element. So for example, if I go back and change my color to something like Hethel yellow, okay, you can see that that changes in the video. But if I change it to one of the new colors like vivid red, nothing happens, right? So Lotus still has a little bit of work to do in the rendering of the video elements of their configurator, but all the other elements seem to work okay. So I'm going to focus on those. Okay, so again, back to our colors. Vivid red, I like that better than the magma red. It's a little bit hard to tell in these pictures, but if you look at the sample here and some other pictures I've seen of it, I'm just not a huge fan of the magma red. So I think the vivid red is definitely an improvement. I think it's a little odd, as I mentioned, that they would have 3 blues out of such a limited palette, but the Seneca blue I felt the car looked very good in, but I also feel it's a little bit of a trendy color. You see a lot of other cars in that color these days, and I'm afraid it may not wear well 10 years from now. So they added some other nice colors that I think could be very attractive. Atlantis blue, and then Meridian blue. Now, I'm not going to try and draw too many conclusions from this configurator image here on how the car is actually going to look. I always think a car that is curvaceous and beautiful like the Emira does better in a car that reflects light nicely and shows contrast where you have body curves and things like that. So I like colors that are bright, but it's quite possible that these new colors will look fabulous in person. So anyhow, you've got the Meridian blue, and then going into the other new colors in the grayscale palette, mist white, which I feel is not a true white, it looks like it's a little bit of an off-white. So I'm not sure. We'll have to see what the car looks like in person in that color, but it could be quite nice. I think a lot of times with these little bit off-whites, they do better if they can add some sort of reflective material to the paint coat. For example, the Alfa Romeo 4C had something called Madreperla, which is mother of pearl. And that is an absolutely gorgeous white, which has all kinds of pearlescent effects built into it. So I'm just not sure how this color is going to come off in reality. I guess we'll have to wait and see. So next is osmium silver, and I was very excited to see that. I thought when they came out with the grays, I am not a fan of gray in general, and I was saying to folks, it's like I wish they had a silver because I think silver is a fabulous car for a lot of sports cars and it really shows off all their elements. That said, I guess I will have to see in person what this silver looks like. I know that BMW does something called titanium silver, which had a highly reflective silver paint, and that was just fabulous. This one from the pictures doesn't look like it has any highly reflective elements, so I don't know, but to me silver has to be reflective because it's supposed to be like the metal silver. At any rate, we'll have to wait and see what this looks like. Then you've got our old color Nimbus Gray, which is a little bit different. And I will say when I saw the car in person in Nimbus Gray, I liked it a lot. It was close enough to a silver that it gave a similar effect in certain lighting, and it did really look pretty nice. But again, I really just don't like grays. I like something that's a little bit shinier. They've now added zinc gray, which I don't know why. I guess they said, well, some people thought Nimbus is too light and they thought Shadow is too dark, so let's split the difference and create zinc gray. Another gray is the last color I would have added to the palette, but I'm not a Lotus designer, so I don't get a vote. And then you have Cosmos Black. And another color that I thought was lacking in the original palette was just a pure black. They had all these sort of half colors, the grays and whatnot. And I really lamented that there wasn't a silver, there wasn't a white, there wasn't a black. So now they've introduced a black. I hope it's a true black. Looking at the sample here, it's a little hard to tell. It could be not quite a pure black, right? Meaning it could be like a super dark gray, but I hope not. I think it could look quite nice in pure black. That said, I own a black Alfa Romeo 4C right now and regretting it because, it gets dirty so easily and it's so hard to keep clean. So I personally don't think I would be buying something in black. That's another reason why I love silver as a color for cars because it really looks fabulous and does a great job of hiding dirt. So I admit it, sometimes my car is not absolutely spotless. At any rate, those are the new colors available, and you can decide whether you like them or not. I think it's an improvement. So again, as I mentioned earlier, these colors are not available on the first edition Lotus Emiras, but for the additional allocation that was made to certain markets like North America, I'm not sure if any other allocations were made in any other markets around the world, but I know in North America they made a special allocation. They added 2/3 more cars in an additional first edition allocation for North America, which they have dubbed FEV2. So personally, I actually am hoping to be on the list, eligible for FEV2. I missed my place in line for the actual first edition. I was too far down the list. So with luck, I'll get in on one of these V2 first editions, and I look forward to seeing some more pictures of the cars in these new colors because I think it could be quite exciting. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. I'm going to leave you with my favorite color of the current palette. This is the Hethel Yellow. And if you did enjoy today's video, please stay tuned for my other Lotus Emira videos. I've been releasing one every weekend for the past few weeks and will continue for the next few weeks. I just thought I'd try to get this one out there quickly for those of you who like consuming your information via videos and like to have some narration accompanying it. So have a great day, and whatever you're driving, enjoy the heck out of it.